Hello, Chinese Debate. If you're watching this video, chances are you have watched all or most of our other videos on policy debate. Because this video isn't about how do I give a speech in a round or what is an argument that I can use in a round. Instead, this is a set of philosophical and practical advice on how you can find success in this activity. Because I am a firm believer that no matter who you are or where you have come from, if you are willing to work and truly give your best, you can find success in this activity. I am a huge fan of quotes. If you're in this program long enough, you will hear me go through many of them. But the three on the screen right now are, I think, the three that sum up really some of the core concepts of what it takes to be successful and, frankly, what it takes to be great at policy debate and far beyond policy debate, really anything that you want to be great at. The first says, excellence is the result of caring more than others think is wise, risking more than others think is safe, dreaming more than others think is practical, and expecting more than others think is possible. This quote sums up for me the notion that success and greatness requires you to devote yourself entirely to an activity. You go all in, for lack of a better phrase. And that in doing that, there are going to be people who say, well, maybe you're putting too much of yourself into it, or maybe your goals and aspirations are too high. You might not meet them. This quote says to those people, you're wrong. You might be right that I might miss my goals, but I'm never going to find success and greatness if I don't dare to be excellent and devote myself to that cause. The second quote, the will to win is nothing without the will to prepare, sums up the notion that you have to be prepared. You've got to work at being a great debater. No one is born with the skills or knowledge necessary to be great at debate. Some people, when they enter the activity, are good speakers. They've learned that over time or had the opportunity to practice that. But being able to speak well, being intelligent, aren't going to get you to where you ultimately want to go. You got to work at it and you got to prepare. The teams and individuals who win trophies at tournaments, win the tournaments, go to nationals, win the national tournament, they are there because they have worked incredibly hard to be as prepared as they possibly can be. The third quote, embarrassment is the cost of entry. If you aren't willing to look like a foolish beginner, you'll never become a graceful master. For me, this is the concept of failure. And you might be thinking, failure? Why would I want to fail in order to be successful? Well, the truth is, any successful debater or successful person really is just a collection of failures from which they have learned. Every one of us makes mistakes. And in trying to figure out policy debate and trying to get good at policy debate, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail. You're going to lose rounds. You're going to make arguments you shouldn't have. You're going to need to make arguments better than you have in the past. Embrace that. Be willing to fall down, learn why you fell down, and then get back up and keep going. Those are the successful people who turn out to be great debaters. Throughout my time as a coach in this program, the number of students who, as freshmen, for example, didn't do very well, but then turned out to be fantastically successful seniors are a lot. They had the will to keep going and embrace the failure and sometimes the painful failure that goes with being great and successful. Let's talk about Cheyenne East's philosophy of success. We have, over the course of this program, tried to distill down what we think are really important concepts for achieving success in debate. And success doesn't necessarily mean winning. Success can be improvement. Greatness can be greatness in being, for example, a good teammate. But all of your ways of defining success or greatness, in our view, really boil down to the concepts that you're looking at now. First, you got to establish good habits. A bad habit, on the other hand, is any habit that doesn't serve you in a positive way. Poor eating, poor sleeping, procrastination, distractions, lack of organization, blaming others, or not taking responsibility. To find success, you have to then cultivate good habits. Be on time. Be focused. Take care of yourself. Be organized. Own your mistakes. They're going to happen. Take ownership of them. Learn from them. Be willing to make them for the benefit of moving forward. But remember that sometimes the easy route, like putting something off, putting debate work off, putting schoolwork off, may seem like it's a fun in the short-term thing, but it'll hurt you in the long run. Next, learn from the past. You don't have to reinvent everything. You don't feel like you have to be the one that invents all of the ways to win. Learn from others. Adopt role models. Emulate traits you admire and learn from others, or learn from the mistakes that others make. You are going to be surrounded by smart, talented people, some with way more experience than you, depending upon where you're at in our program or in life. Utilize them as a resource. And then when you reach that stage, be the kind of role model and teammate that you want those people to be. Next, establish a great work ethic. If you want to build a solid foundation of success, you have to deserve success. The only way to deserve long-term success is to establish a great work ethic and adopt the discipline inherent in that. Debate is a game of work in, results out. You don't have to be the smartest, the strongest, the fastest, the tallest to be great at debate. You just have to be willing to work harder than everybody else. Read more, practice more, learn more, ask for coaching more. Those are the people who find greatness in debate. Next, learn from adversity. If you can't learn, you can't grow. At one time or another, you're going to encounter adversity that threatens whether or not you want to go on. And not just in debate. Maybe you get frustrated with school or a job. But one time that adversity occurs is when you experience a major failure, the kind that leaves you doubting yourself. You got to step back in those circumstances, examine your role in that failure, and accept your share of the blame. Another kind of adversity can come from events we can't control. But we have a choice under either circumstance, whether it's something within our control or without our control. We always have the choice about how we respond to adversity. Is adversity going to be something that drags you down, causes you to beat yourself up? Or is adversity something that you use for fuel, to motivate yourself, to prove others wrong? I would suggest you embrace that view of adversity. Next, fail forward fast. You're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. But you should do so in a way where you are learning from them and you are accelerating the amount of failures. This means don't play it safe. Don't come to practice and feel like, well, I don't want to engage because I might make a mistake. Someone might not think I'm cool. You know who people think are cool? The people who are willing to be brave, to put themselves out there, to say, you know what, I'm going to make a mistake, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to learn from that mistake, and I'm going to get better. And I'm going to make 10 mistakes today that I'm not going to make tomorrow. And I'm going to be better than the person who didn't want to make a mistake and therefore didn't have the 10 learning opportunities that I had. Another quote that I'll introduce here is, debate is about winning and losing. That's when we go to a tournament, you're going to win a round or you're going to lose a round. I am of the view, and I would hope that you can adopt the view, that I never lose. I either win or I learn something. Next, set demanding goals. Most people, when presented with the fact that it takes hard work to be successful, will begin working harder. The difficult part is getting yourself to understand your weaknesses so that you can frame your goals around fixing them. We all end up making excuses for our weaknesses, but if we don't conquer them one by one, they will consume our time and our energy, and we will miss opportunities. We need goals that will help us overcome our weaknesses. So aim high, even if you may not reach that particular goal. There's another saying that aim for the stars and you might hit the moon. But hitting the moon is still really good. Next, and finally, survive success. Today's success is often tomorrow's failure. A failure to maintain discipline causes it to evaporate immediately. Success is just that fragile. So never forget what you did right. Write down your own secrets to success. Study them. If nothing else, they'll remind you it wasn't good fortune that caused your success, but an entire lifestyle of achievement. All right. Enough of the philosophical. Let's get down to some brass tacks about how you can get better at debate. Here are the things that you must learn to be successful in debate. Learn the activity. Watch these videos. Watch them more than once if you can stand the sound of my voice. Talk to your coaches. Come to practice. Talk to your teammates. Watch other debaters and other debate rounds. You can find the national finals, for example, online. Watch those debaters. See what they're doing well. Find out about the activity. Next, learn the topic. Learn it inside and out. Become the expert on whatever it is that you are debating. Put in that kind of time. Because often, even if you may not be the master of a counterplan, for example, if you know more about the topic and the arguments, you're going to be able to out-explain and win, even if someone maybe knows the intricacies of a counterplan better than you. Learn your opponents. Figure out what do they do well, what don't they do well. You're going to debate people in the state of Wyoming multiple times. You're going to have the opportunity to see them as they grow in their careers. So study them. Figure out what makes them tick. Figure out where their weaknesses are, and then attack those in rounds. Learn about your judges. Learn beforehand, what kind of judge do I have, and then adapt accordingly. But please do not make the mistake of just thinking, well, it's a judge, I'll out-debate the other person, where in reality, you might have to debate a specific way for a specific judge. Be a good teammate. Policy debate is a team activity. You're going to have a partner, and you're going to have other people on the team who are researching, writing arguments, debating others, sharing information, sharing tips and tricks. We are successful because we operate as a team. But that can only continue if we are willing to be good teammates. And being a good teammate isn't just about being courteous to someone or sharing information or writing arguments. It's about picking someone up when they're down, having positive and encouraging words to say, being friendly, being kind, taking an interest in them. If you're an older debater, taking newer ones under your wing and teaching them things that they need to know. But be a good teammate. Be humble. You don't know everything. I don't know everything. Be willing to learn. Be willing to accept criticism, accept feedback, find ways to improve, and don't think that you have just figured everything out and you're good to go. Be coachable. Again, this goes back to part of being humble, but you got to listen to your coaches, and not just me. You're going to have the opportunity to interact with other coaches on the Cheyenne speech and debate team. These are smart people who have been around this activity for a long time, and more importantly, want you to succeed. They're there to help you. They have your best interests at heart. Take what they have to say and put it into practice. Be persistent. You just have to grind at it. You got to work hard at it. You got to put in the time. And, you may have to sacrifice other interests like video games or something like that in order to truly get where you want to get to. And that's going to require persistence, especially in the face of adversity. Practice. Critically important to success. Practice speaking drills. If you don't know what I mean by speaking drills, check out our video that outlines all the speaking drills that you can do. If you can spend 15 to 20 minutes every single day and most of us have that kind of time during the day at some point, you should be doing speaking drills. You will become a better speaker and more persuasive. Practice speeches. You will have the opportunity to practice giving a 1NC. You'll be able to use flows from rounds that you've had to re-give speeches. And with the lovely advent of technology like being able to record videos on your cell phones, you have the ability to give a practice speech, record it on your phone, and then send it to a coach for feedback. So it's not just giving the speech for the sake of giving the speech. You can get direct and immediate feedback as a result. And then you got to practice debates. You got to get in there with your partner and other people and debate. Not just when we have practices themselves, but if you're in a class, practice in there. If you want to find time to get on, say, Zoom and do a practice debate, do it. If you can get together in person and do practice debates, awesome. But you only get good, really, at anything if you practice it. So practice, practice again, and then practice even more.